ERA in the league. The Royals are right behind the Red Sox in hitting, but like Boston, they are down near the bottom in pitching. So, a 3-game shootout this week? Royals baseball is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium on a beautiful night following a stormy day. And after 4 games with the Yankees, the Royals begin a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. Hi, everyone. Along with Rex Hudler, I'm Ryan Lefevre. Jonathan Sanchez will start Game 1 with Boston, trying to build off his last start against a good hitting team, the Detroit Tigers.
That's right. He's going to have to keep that ball down against these guys for sure and use his defense. But in our Kia pitching report, he needs to have a good tempo as well. That means get the ball and throw it. Keep the defense on their toes. Be aggressive in the strike zone. And finish hitters off with his split finger, and hopefully he'll eat up 6 innings or better.
The Red Sox have Kevin Youkilis and Carl Crawford on the disabled list, but they still have Big Papi, David Ortiz, Adrian Gonzalez, and Dustin Pedroia. We'll have more from the ballpark right after this. Ball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. Leading off for the Red Sox tonight is a familiar face, and Joel Goldberg will visit with Mike Aviles when we come back.
7th-round pick from 2003, Mike Aviles here with the Red Sox. Joel Goldberg back at Kauffman Stadium. Aviles now leading off for powerhouse Boston, but it's a Red Sox team that is off to their worst start through 27 games since 1996. But Aviles remains optimistic.
Grinding through everything, getting past the bad, and seeing the good, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, we have a lot of talent here, so it's just a matter of time. We'll be all right, you know, early in the year, and we still have 4 months and some change of baseball to play. So, you know, I think we're going to be just fine.
Mike traded from Kansas City to Boston last year, did come here with the Red Sox a season ago, so he says a little weird to be back, but not so weird. He will take on his former World Baseball Classic teammate, Jonathan Sanchez. First pitch is coming up next on Fox Sports Kansas City.
By Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Bobby Valentine and the Boston Red Sox in town for 3 days. Here's his lineup. They have lost 5 in a row. Former Royal Mike Aviles will lead off. The Red Sox have 3 key players on the disabled list: Kevin Youkilis, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carl Crawford. So that's the third baseman, center fielder, and left fielder on the DL. But Red Sox are still third in the league in hitting and second in runs scored. And here's a look at what Jonathan Sanchez has done his last 3 times out. Only gave up 1 hit in 5 innings to the Tigers last time out.
Yeah, now they would love to see that again. Sanchez, he's going to come at these Red Sox with a fastball that what Ned Yost hopes is around, 92, 93 miles an hour at least. He's going to have to change his speeds with his curveball and his split finger. Defending behind him, we see Frenchie out there, 5 assists. That's #1 in the league. He's got that arm, and so does Gordon in left field. Now, Escobar had a day off. He's going to be nice and fresh. Brian Pena gets the call tonight behind the plate, and it's sponsored by Ford, as always.
So here's Aviles back in Kansas City. It's not the first time for him since joining the Red Sox. He was traded last year to Boston on July 30th, but in the middle of August, the Red Sox were back here in town. 5 home runs, 19 RBIs as the Red Sox leadoff man, and he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes.
Hey, Sanchez wants to try to see if he can get ahead, limit his pitch count, although he's been averaging about 20 pitches per inning. Getting ahead's important.
2-1, says Home plate umpire and crew chief Tim Cheetah.
Aviles, he twirls that bat around his head. It's a little unorthodox, but he gets the job done. Having a nice start.
Back in 2008, the Royals Player of the Year. Up into that bright blue sky, and Gerard Dyson will bring it down for the first out. The calm after the storm, and a gorgeous night in Kansas City. Absolutely perfect. No cloud in sight, 71 degrees with a wind blowing left to right. We started at 7:11, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot at KCA. And now Dustin Pedroia, who steps in with a 7-game hitting streak and batting .302.
Righties are hitting .263 off of Sanchez. Lefties just .154 for a .229 overall average against Sanchez. So it hasn't been too bad. They haven't been raking him. It's been his walks. He's got 19 walks in 22 and a third innings pitched. So if he can keep those down, he's got a chance.
I've always felt when a pitcher has a high ERA and a low opponent's batting average, you can go directly to walks.
Without a doubt. And this is a pretty patient team, just like the Yankees that left. They're veterans and they know the strike zone.
3-0 to Pedroia. So a walk with one out. And for Sanchez, that's 20 walks this year in 22 2/3 innings.
Yep, didn't want to do it. He does get a little bit high with his fastball on occasions. And he will strike out some batters with that high fastball, but got to be careful when you're facing some power guys with a high fastball. This guy stepping in is having a pretty good start to his season.
.365 batting average for David Ortiz. And that's outside, so Sanchez has missed with 5 in a row. David Ortiz last year passed Edgar Martinez in all-time RBIs for a DH. He already has the most home runs in Major League history for a designated hitter.
Remember the season that Ortiz got off to last year early? He was struggling, and they were talking about, you know, he's done and all that stuff. He ends up hitting .309 with 29 homers, 96 ribbies.
And 2-0. So Tim Cheetah, home plate umpire, isn't going to help out Sanchez at all.
That's where you want to keep it on these guys, especially Ortiz.
Two and one. Sanchez has faced the Red Sox before, pitching with the Giants a couple of years ago in interleague play, and he beat Boston. 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 walks, and he struck out 6. And another base hit for Ortiz, so he'll add to that .365 batting average, and the Red Sox have runners at first and second with 1 out.
He's right on the ball. That .365 batting average is good enough for 4th in the AL so far to start. You can see he's keeping it out of the zone. He's got to come in there. Big Poppy knew it was coming. It was down low, and nice swing.
Is that a trimmer, David Ortiz?
It's pretty lean. Maybe it's that facial hair all trimmed up too, but no, he looks good. He came ready.
And now Sanchez is facing a former teammate, Cody Ross, and the two of them won a World Series together in 2010. And Ross was a great story that year. Picked up on waivers by the Giants from the Florida Marlins, and what a big pickup that was, because he was the MVP of the National League Championship Series when San Francisco surprised the Philadelphia Phillies. And now Ross in his first year with the Red Sox. That year, Sanchez had his best full season. Giants beating the Texas Rangers in the World Series. Sanchez was a 13-game winner in 2010. Still 0-2.
Ross is a pull hitter. He likes to try to see if he can get up underneath balls. He's got pretty much a natural uppercut swing. But Sanchez has a good curveball and his split finger pitches that move down, and he'd love to induce a ground ball here. Right at somebody. Get out of the inning.
And a curveball strikes him out. 2 down.
And the Red Sox pretty good with runners in scoring position. They average. See that good bite to that breaking ball. That was a bender. They're hitting .307 as a team with runners out there. They're aggressive. They hit pretty well. Adrian Gonzalez stepping in, hitting .387 with runners in scoring position.
He has 39 at-bats against Jonathan Sanchez, and Sanchez has faced Gonzalez more than any hitter in his career, going back to the days when Sanchez was with the Giants, Gonzalez was with the Padres, so they saw each other all the time. Going after the first pitch, and Sanchez at one point in this inning threw 6 straight balls, and now he has thrown 7 straight strikes.
Okay, finding it first inning. Gonzalez, he'll use the whole field.
Just missed with the curve. 1-1.
This guy's a good average hitter, no matter who's throwing from what hand, left or right. He's an excellent guy, excellent hitter.
Splitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sanchez's last start, he went to that splitter quite often. Dave Island said that, you know, he'd like for him to use more fastballs early, but whatever's getting the guys out, don't change it.
Two and two.
It'd be hard for Sanchez not to be able to see Brian Pena's signs, because Pena, he doctors his nails up every start to make sure that there's no cross-ups or anything with his fingernails painted white.
Now, I know some guys really kind of test the limits of the batter's box, and many hitters, when they come to the plate, they'll just dust away that back line so the umpire can't see it. But
see where
he looks like he's almost a full foot, length of a foot out of the batter's box.
He's taking the chalk right out of there. He'll set that foot in where he wants to. Give him as long as he can to see that ball.
So the count goes from 1-2 to 3-2, and now Pedroia at second. Ortiz at first will be running. You go from Mike Aviles, who wears out the very front of the batter's box, to Adrian Gonzalez, who looks like he's out of the back of the batter's box. Sounded like a cracked bat, but Gonzalez gets it out into center field. So the 1-out walk turns into a run, and Boston has a 1-0 lead.
Gonzalez, he knew he was going to get something to hit. It was a high fastball, and those are a little easier to put in play just like that when they're elevated. Jammed him. But with Pedroia running, no chance.
You know, he got jammed, and it sounded like he cracked his bat, but that was really a good job of when coaches teach about keeping your hands inside the ball. I mean, obviously you're looking for a line drive somewhere, but with that pitch, that was the right swing to loop it out into left center. Into the right field corner and slicing. And that is a 3-run home run for Will Middlebrooks, who just hit his first major league home run yesterday against the Orioles, and that was a grand slam.
Well, he's a big, strong kid. Height. He's got long arms, and he reached out on that one. Didn't mess around. Had never seen Sanchez before, and was looking for a fastball early. And unfortunately, the Royals are going to have to play some comeback early in this one. That ball's on the outer half. Just stayed fair. It's got that kind of pop.
The 25th pitch of the inning is fouled away by Darnell McDonald, and pitch count is always an issue for Sanchez. And Rex, you mentioned that he averages about 20 pitches per inning this year. Now, when he pitched well on Wednesday at Detroit, he only had 1 inning where he went 20 pitches or more. 0-2 on McDonald.
Well, Red Sox coming in here having lost 5 games in a row at home. They're hungry early, looking for some elevated pitches.
It's a long inning in more ways than one. 4 runs for the Red Sox, 27 pitches for Sanchez. For an early lead, and here's Ned Yost's lineup tonight. Gerard Dyson leading off again, and a couple of regulars who got the day off yesterday are back in there. Jeff Francoeur in right field and Alcides Escobar at shortstop, and for the first time the Royals will see left-hander and 24-year-old Felix Doubront.
All right, for the Royals going to get on this guy, they've got to get that pitch count up. Kind of like Jonathan Sanchez. Look up in the zone, because he does throw a nice little sinker and look for something up and beat a left-hander. One time this year, they're 0-4. They're the only team in the American League that has not beaten a left-handed starter. So go ahead and be aggressive and stay on the attack. See a couple assists out there by McDonald. Marlon Byrd just came over here from the Chicago Cubs. Adrian Gonzalez has a good glove at first base. Shoppers has a few at-bats against Jonathan Sanchez, gets the call behind the dish.
Doubront is coming off a loss on Tuesday against Oakland, but he did establish a new career high. He had 8 strikeouts against the A's in 4 innings, threw 94 pitches in 4 innings, and if you average out his numbers, He goes about 5 innings per start, and he throws about 100 pitches per start. So there's the easy math. That would make him a 20 pitches per inning guy.
He likes to throw a four-seam fastball. Elevate that. He'll sink his fastball as well. A little cutter. And a curveball and a changeup.
Inside to Dyson, who had 5 hits in the Yankees series. He scored 3 times and drove in 2. And now he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes.
Every day I see Dyson out bunting. Doug Sisson has the pitching machine out there, and they just feed him ball after ball after ball. And he just works on bunting down the first base line, third base line. But now he's getting tested with his eye. Go ahead and take a couple here and see if he can get on base and start climbing back.
Three balls, 1 strike. Dubron from Venezuela, signed in the Red Sox organization in 2004. And a couple of seasons ago, he was the Red Sox minor league pitcher of the year. McDonald makes the play in left field, 1 down. Boston Red Sox are coming up a long game. They played 17 innings yesterday and losing to the Baltimore Orioles 9-6, a 6-hour and 7-minute game. Bobby Valentine had to use 8 relievers, including Darnell McDonald, who just made the play in left field. In fact, McDonald was the losing pitcher, and this is a bullpen that is very spent. And you know, normally when a bullpen's in a position like this, Rex, you make a roster move and you bring up a guy or 2 from the minor leagues, but they're in a tough spot because just about every reliever they have would have to clear waivers, so they would risk losing them if they were going to try and bring up somebody from the minor leagues.
So their hands were a little bit tied, throwing over 200 pitches yesterday in that pen. That leaves some guys out there a little bit tender. So they're really counting on Dubron to at least eat up some innings. Gordon's going to have to get a new bat. He got in there and broke it.
Alex was on base 8 times in the Yankee series. He had 6 hits, 5 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. Red Sox have lost 5 in a row. They just finished that homestand against Oakland and Baltimore 1-5, and like the Royals, they've had trouble winning at home so far. Two and two.
What was interesting is that we talked about McDonald getting the loss. Well, how about Sam Mertz? He was another position player for the Orioles who got the win.
On the ground to Pedroia and throws out Alex Gordon. So 2 down in the first inning. So 2 up, 2 down, and if Dubron is going to give the Red Sox a long outing tonight, he's going to have some quick innings. And now he gets Billy Butler, who had 3 doubles and 4 RBIs in the Yankee series, batting at .296. Two and 0.
We can tell Dubron takes his time. He's not much of a rhythm guy. He's looking around out there, taking his time in between pitches. He's got a slow windup.
And now he's behind 3-0. 4-pitch walk to Butler. And these are a couple of pitchers who have a history of control problems. Dubron, I think, is furious with Tim Cheetah. He went bouncing off the mound and now going for a little walk in between the mound and second base just to cool off. And Bobby Valentine, realizing how important it is for his lefty to pull it together, he's going to go out there and try and calm Dubron down. Tim Cheetah knows what's going on, so he's just going to hang out behind home plate. But he has shown a bit of a tight strike zone in the first inning.
Yeah, and Dubron, you know, he raised his arms a little bit. Umpires don't like that. Cheetah's 25 years in the league as an umpire and crew chief. Got a 4-0 lead. You know, don't make the umpire mad. You already are a high pitch count guy anyway.
Here's our Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet pitch speed comparison. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. There's a strike to Eric Hosmer. Batting average at 185. 3 hits and an RBI in the Yankee series and a few lineouts, but he's used to that by now. 0-2. Doesn't mean he's very happy with it and likes all the lineouts, but at this point he's had so many that he figures probably not a surprise. Hosmer was saying before the game tonight, when he comes up, all he sees out there is just a big glove. That ball drops in Middlebrook's glove in foul territory. Sanchez back out to work. Royals down 4-0. With 2 on and 2 out in the first inning was 1 ball 2 strikes against Adrian Gonzalez, who worked a full count. He singled in a run, and then Will Middlebrooks hit a 3-run home run. So after a 27-pitch first inning, the Red Sox scored 4. And now it'll be Marlon Byrd, Kelly Shopik, and then the top of the order and Mike Aviles.
Got to try to get in that zone early. Can't afford to walk any more batters. Marlon Byrd, he's 1 for his last 16. But he started in center field in all 13 games since he's been over here.
2 balls 1 strike. You know, Rex, you mentioned that Sanchez, worked quicker, pick up the pace, and after that second pitch to Marlon Byrd, he went behind the mound to mess with the rosin bag or just reset himself in between pitches, and Brian Pena stood up and got out in front of home plate
As if to say, come on, let's go. Don't get yourself in that routine now.
It's one of our key keys for him is he's got to get that tempo and keep the game rolling.
Good pitch in on the hands. And Hosmer will come over from first base to retire Marlon Byrd. The Fan of the Game sweepstakes is going on now at Olathe Fiat, and you could win a new Fiat 500 Pop. Finalists for the grand prize drawing will be announced here on Fox Sports Kansas City. And in July, one fan will win the Fiat 500 Pop. Look for rules and enter now at Olathe Fiat. Kelly Shopik will bat with one out. He is the Red Sox backup catcher, and Jared Saltalamacchia caught all 17 innings yesterday.
Wow. That's quite a workload, so give him a rest. He earned a day off. Got in here late last night. Some of the guys said that they were doing jumping jacks on the airplane. It was so rough getting in.
I can imagine. I mean, it was just one wave of storms after another. Three and one on Shopik. Sanchez walked one in the first inning. That was Pedroia, and he came around to score. On the ground, diving play, Moustakas from his knees for the out.
That'll wake the crowd up here. Shopik, I thought he would take another pitch. He says, no, I'm hitting. Moose gets up only on one knee, throws right over the top of that, kept the ball down low, used the turf. That was nice. Oh, that's a beauty. Here's our super slow-mo. Now that ball lodged in there, but he had to keep his hand soft, keep that glove hand soft so he can just reach in there and pull it out.
Now, Shopik's not a fast runner, so we'll put that out there first, but I don't remember seeing a play where a third baseman goes diving, throws from his knees, and he still gets the runner by about 4 steps. Usually those plays are bang, bang at the very end.
Right, not too often.
And now Vilas goes up the middle. That's past Escobar. So Vilas is 1 for 2. So Sanchez, hoping to have a quick inning, allows the base hit to Aviles, and now Pedroia, who walked. Dustin Pedroia, a .387 hitter in his career against the Royals. And for years, it's been Albert Pujols with the highest batting average against the Royals of any active major leaguer. Well, now Pedroia has passed him.
Smart hitter. Sprays the ball all over. Got some pop. But he plays smart. It's the ball where it's pitched.
That pitch may have crossed up Brian Pena. 1 ball, 1 strike. And when you say he's got some pop, we're talking about 21 home runs last year. He has a 17 home run season, 15 home run season. At 5'8", maybe 165 pounds.
Well, he's got extremely strong hands. And he's got good mechanics, although he looks a little more upright than he has been in the past. He's standing up a little bit more. Maybe that's giving him some more leverage in his legs to use. But he He's like I said, you put the smarts and you put some strong hands and a quick bat together, and you can get it over that Fenway Park wall out there, the monster.
Aviles takes off. The pitch is in the dirt. And Pena's throw is too late. Made a pretty good throw, considering he had to pull it out of the dirt first. Aviles has his 4th stolen base.
Good scoop and throw. You see that sliding pad that Aviles has on his wrist? It's got a little metal bar that runs from the wrist to the palm to keep your wrist from bending. He drags his hand. Try to teach young kids to slide with both hands in the air on your seat.
Drilled to center field into a crosswind, so that helps out Dyson and the Royals as Gerard brings it down. Boston is scoreless in the 2nd inning. For the past 5 years, she has battled stage 4 breast cancer, and even through the treatments, the Olathe, Kansas resident has competed in multiple triathlons and served as an example of strength and determination. And in addition, Monica and her husband Jay, who's a leukemia survivor and triathlete, created Iron Team, which raises money through donations for cancer research done at the University of Kansas Cancer Center. Monica Steiner in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat at tonight's game.
Wow, are you kidding me? I couldn't do a triathlon without some of the things that she's been going through. That's incredible. Congratulations, Monica.
Jeff Francoeur off yesterday. Mitch Meyer was in right field. No balls and 2 strikes against Felix Dubront. Francoeur, Moustakas, and Pena coming up in the 2nd inning. Dubront allowed a walk in the 1st, and that was all. One ball, 2 strikes.
Dubront looks like he's got some deception in his delivery. Takes his time, but he's got a little bit of a pause with the ball down at the bottom of his release. Stop, hold it just a little bit.
going through all of his pitches. And he missed, so he shook off 3, went to the 4th, and Francoeur takes the count from 0-2 to 3-2.
Four-seam fastball he uses up in the strike zone. He'll sink it, he'll cut it. Those are 3 variations off his fastball, a curve and a change.
That pitch was supposed to be in, and it's down and away for a leadoff walk. So Dubron had Francoeur on the hook, 0-2, but let him get away.
He's a 23-year-old and he's young. And one thing I'm noticing is he's an emotional guy. Bob McClure, no stranger to Royals fans, getting his first year over there with that B on his hat, says that he likes the kid's future. He thinks he's got a chance to do something pretty well. But still early. He baffled the Yankees through 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits. One of his starts earlier this year. He's got some potential.
Here's our league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City Toyota dealers. American League doubles leaders, and you pointed this out to me earlier. At the top, it's all Red Sox and Royals. One and one. And the Red Sox lead the league in doubles, followed by the Royals.
Moose has a .400 batting average against lefties this year so far. It's the highest batting average on the team.
Stroke to center field. Bird is back, and again there's that crosswind, and he misplayed it. So it looked like it was going to be a bad break for the Royals after Moustakas put a charge into one in center field, but it still drops for a double.
Well, you mentioned it. There's some high winds up there, and it's holding balls in. It's not like the humidity the last few days against the Yankees. It's a lot cooler here. That ball was missed out over the plate. Now it's pushing it back, and Bird just didn't quite judge it properly, jumped too soon. Typically a very steady center fielder. This guy rarely misses, but, you know, to play the elements of the game, until you're out there and seeing how that wind's blowing, it can play tricks on you. But nonetheless, Moustakas didn't want to run Frenchie off of a base, so he had to slow down. He might have had 3.
And Brian Pena to the right side. That'll get a run home. So the Royals tie or get a run back in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and they get a runner over to third base with just 1 out.
That's an excellent AB. You could tell that Brian was trying to do this. He kept his hands inside. He knew that a good chance to get a ribby and get him over in one swing. That's how you do it when you're behind, pecking away.
Down and into Chris Getz.
Royals a .249 hitting team with runners in scoring position, but Getsy's hitting .429.
And he gets that into center field. Bird gets behind it. Here comes Moustakas, and the throw is cut off by Pedroia, so it's a 2-run 2nd inning. And for Chris Getz, that's his 5th RBI of the year.
Early count Hackett. The last 2 hitters, Brian Pena and Getz, trying to get those runs in. Nice ball. I didn't know if that was going to be deep enough. Marlon Byrd played it well, but it was offline.
And speaking of doubles, here's Alcides Escobar, who is second only to Mike Moustakas. And Escobar didn't have a big series against the Yankees at the plate. He was 2 for 10, but second on the team in doubles. And he leads the Royals with 7 stolen bases. Oh, 0-2.
That hurt. He might have got that one off his toe. He's got a changeup he'll use to righties, and that was what that was. Ouch.
Here's Irving Falou as Escobar got the day off, and Falou made the most of his major league debut with a triple in his first at bat. Also a single and a run scored.
And he's buddies with everybody on the team, but Salvador Perez, that's his close buddy.
Aviles on a close play gets Escobar to end the inning. Royals get 2 in the second inning with RBIs from Pena and Getz. Rex with our Mazda replay. Let's take another look at that diving play by Moustakas in the second inning.
Okay, now the reason he threw from his knees is he thought that it was going to take a little bit more time to get that ball out of his gloves, so he kind of trapped it in the ground like that. But heck, didn't take him any time at all to get that ball over there. But he threw it so hard on the line with one hopper to Hosmer that got him by 4 steps. What a play.
David Ortiz was part of the Red Sox 4-run first inning with a single, and he scored on the home run from Middlebrooks. And now he'll take Dyson and Francoeur to the track, and that's gone as Ortiz hits his 7th of the year. Well, Sanchez was tough on lefties, but now David Ortiz and Adrian Gonzalez, the only left-hand hitters in the lineup, are 3 for 3. With 3 runs scored and 2 RBIs.
Well, that's the first home run that Sanchez has given up this year. And it was right down the middle, belt high. And a hot hitter so far this year, going to do that. It's going to put the ball in play hard.
Ross was going to bunt if he had a better pitch to deal with. So the Red Sox back out to a 3-run lead after the Royals just got 2 in the bottom of the second.
Well, if you're going to throw a cookie right down the middle of the plate to David Ortiz, I guess it's better than with anybody on base.
Two balls and 1 strike. And now 3-1. Yankees hit 6 home runs in the 4-game series over the weekend. And even with that, the Royals were still tied for allowing the fewest home runs in the American League. Ross walks after the Ortiz home run. And speaking of David Ortiz, our sprint you call it question for tonight. Who's the most dominant DH of his era? Was it Hal McRae here in Kansas City? Edgar Martinez with the Seattle Mariners or David Ortiz?
Well, that's a great question because they all were dominant. Since I played against Edgar, I'm going to go B. He was really good. One of the best right-handed hitters I ever had to defend out there. He always hit to the situation.
Inside to Adrian Gonzalez. Now, Will Middlebrooks hit a 3-run home run in the first inning, so 2 home runs in the game for the Red Sox. But the key hit may have been the Gonzalez single. He was down in the count, worked a full count, took a tough pitch into center for an RBI base hit, which allowed Middlebrooks to come to the plate. And then he hit the 3-run home run. Out on a pop up to short for out number 1 in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Just a pitch that was too much elevated. Nate Adcock's getting loose. I'll tell you, that wind, is playing some havoc on some balls here tonight. Escobar and Getz are talking now and looking around at each other, and Escobar had to go all the way over the second base side to catch that one.
And that wind will show you why Middlebrooks, or partly why he was able to homer where he did. Now, he has good power to the opposite field, but he just kind of threw his hands at the ball with a pitch that was away and flicked it into the seats inside the right field foul pole. So he has his first 2 major league home runs in the last 2 days and driving in 7 with those 2 home runs. There's that wind blowing left to right. One and 2.
Well, the players are out there talking with each other, and when you see them talking, usually they're not talking about what the hitter's going to be doing next. They're saying, wow, they're pointing around, talking about which way the wind's going to blow. Okay, here they're going back now. Now Getz wasn't sure. Escobar was, and so he called for it, and he was able to call him off, but you see how he had to squat down to make sure he watched it all the way into his glove.
This time Sanchez strikes out Middlebrooks. That's Jonathan second, 2 away.
That's a breaking ball that really didn't break all the way. It just kind of spun a little bit, but it was effective, and it looked like Middlebrooks was looking for a pitch like that to do the same thing.
And now Darnell McDonald, and he takes a strike. We were telling you earlier that Darnell McDonald was the losing pitcher as a position player in yesterday's game against the Orioles.
What was interesting is that Chris Davis, he got the win. But even more interesting was it was the first major league game in which both pitchers' decisions were position players since 1902. I'm thinking, man, if you do something that hadn't been done that long, man. Interesting game.
Tough day all around for McDonald. He gave up a 3-run home run to Adam Jones, which put the Orioles in front. And because he was the pitcher in an American League game, that means, of course, he's hitting. And then he ended the game in the bottom of the 17th by grounding into a double play.
Hang with him. What a high school athlete this kid McDonald was in his high school days in the state of Colorado. Rushed for over 6,000 yards for his high school team and won 3 state championships.
Did he go? No. Chris Scuccione, the umpire at first base. So Sanchez walks his 3rd. And they're on the phone again in the Royals dugout.
Up and away.
So a couple of guys getting playing time because of injuries. Darnell McDonald with Carl Crawford on the disabled list. And now Marlon Byrd in the Red Sox made the trade for him right after Jacoby Ellsbury went down with a dislocated shoulder. Out in front of a splitter, 0-1.
Red Sox got 11 guys on their DL. Have 8.
No balls, 2 strikes. And some big names on that Red Sox disabled list.
I'll say.
Mention the position players, but John Lackey, Daisuke Matsuzaka, and then they make a trade in the offseason for Andrew Bailey from the Oakland A's, and he has surgery in spring training because of an injured right thumb.
He was their closer.
1-2 on Marlon Byrd.
Bobby Jenks is another arm they could use out there. Well, Jonathan Sanchez is not picking up the tempo. He's a base hit away from coming out of this game. It's too slow. Marlon Byrd stepped out. I don't blame him. It's too long.
2-2. Sanchez has not gone more than 5 innings with the Royals this year. That's 5 starts. And if you go back to the end of his 2011 season, it's been 10 straight starts where he hasn't gone more than 5 innings. That'll land in the seats. And it's still 2-2. Don't forget, interleague play begins for the Royals on Friday, May 18th, as the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town. It's Buck Night and Fireworks Friday. Hot dogs, peanuts, and soft drinks are just $1. Then stay after the game for Friday Night Fireworks, presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. This will be pitch number 70 for Jonathan Sanchez, and everybody's a little restless right now because it's taking so much time and continuing to back off the rubber, and Brian Pena finally just goes out there and says, okay, what do you want to throw? Forget about the signs. Let's just talk it over.
Let's just try to get this guy out here.
And he strikes out Marlon Byrd to end the inning. The Red Sox add a run on the David Ortiz home run. It's 5-2 Boston. Vasquez in 3 innings, and the Red Sox lead 5-2. Royals got 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning to make it a 4-2 game, and then David Ortiz leading off the 3rd, homer to right center field. Dyson, Gordon, Butler in the 3rd. Gerard out on a fly ball to left field in the 1st. And a bunt, he gets it by the mound, and Pedroia didn't get him, and that's about as good as you can do.
Pedroia was even cheating in at second base. He knows he can bunt it, but perfect location and placement there by Gerard Dyson. That's what he needs to get on base with nobody out, see if he can get something going. Pedroia is an excellent fielding second baseman. And he's coming in on contact right there, and just Dyson just beat it. That's the idea. Left-handers usually fall off to the third base side, so you want to try to push it, and I think that's a great call.
Right. Boy, that's a heck of a play by Dustin Pedroia, even though the throw was a little late. So Dyson at first. Alex Gordon comes up. Let's check in with Joel.
Well, we'll keep our eye, Ryan, on Gerard Dyson. And we know that base running and stealing certainly a big part of the Royals game, but they were kind of shaky in the early part of the season. And Ned Yost says that obviously needs to get better, has gotten better. He says that he wants guys to be aggressive. He wants them to steal. And they've instilled that, but now they need to make better choices. Go at the right count, go at the right time, the right condition. He likes what they've done the last 10 days or so. 12 for 20 to begin the year on stolen bases. 8 for their last 10. Let's see what happens here.
And they're back to 2nd in the league in stolen bases. Thanks, Joel, with 20 this year. Broken bat, and it plops down in front of Middlebrooks, who throws it away. So Dyson will score. And scoring from first on the play, Gordon goes to third. There's nobody out, and it is 5-3. That was a heck of a bunt, too.
Yeah.
Only thing was he was swinging.
The bat head went further than the ball did. But Gordon will take it, and they'll also take a break. Capitalize on the opponent's mistake. One time, we haven't seen that a lot, but you know what? You got to go ahead and make it hurt now. Look at that. Sawed him off. I mean, buzzsawed. Middlebrook thought he had time, but he was off balance, no doubt about it. And threw it way up the line. Adrian Gonzalez couldn't even dive for that one, and he just threw Gordon a triple.
Alex will get a hit on the play. Middlebrooks the throwing error. And now the Royals need to get Alex to the plate as Billy takes down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Butler walked in the 1st inning. Good situational hitting by the Royals in the 2nd inning. They scored their runs with outs, a ground ball and a fly out.
13th error by the Red Sox this year.
(2-0).
So you get a young pitcher, play like that behind him. He had to come and run from third base over to catch the ball at home plate. You know, rattle him a little bit. That's what Shoppich is doing. I said, hey, we'll just settle down here. Let's not get too worked up. He's an emotional guy, I can tell. Doesn't have very good control with his body language.
And the Red Sox really need him tonight. Trying to end a 5-game losing streak, and they have an exhausted bullpen. They cannot afford Dubron to lose it physically or emotionally early in the game. 3-0. And the Red Sox are in a stretch of games that the Royals are winding down, and that's 20 games in 20 days. Or at least for the Royals, it was a scheduled 20 games in 20 days. They had the 2 rainouts. 3-1 to Billy.
I mean, the Red Sox closer, Alfredo Aceves, he's pitched 6 innings in 3 days. Non-save situations, just trying to get in there. Watch this pitch. Billy didn't think it was a strike.
Drops it out into shallow right field. It'll be caught by Ross, and Gordon will hold.
Gordon lost his footing. And that ball kind of jammed Billy Butler. And with the outfielder coming in, having some momentum on the throw, I think Eddie Rodriguez said, hey, look, just stay home since you didn't really get a good toe hold over there.
So it gives Hosmer a chance to drive in Gordon from third. Eric fouled out to third in the first inning. And a big curveball got away from Dubron.
Now you see that average at 183. He's been hitting the ball at people. But if he continues that trend, he can pick up his 16th ribby here because they're giving it to him. All he got to do is just make some contact on the ground or deep fly ball. But on the ground, the infielders are all back.
Chop to Pedroia. That'll get the run home. It is 5-4. So Eric Hosmer, even though his batting average is where it is, he is still second on the team in RBIs. That's his 16th of the year.
Royals are right back in this game, no matter how it happens. They'll do all they can. Now that's exactly what he wanted to do, just make some contact. And you know, Kevin Seitzer has been working with him a lot on his hand position.
Francoeur to right field. Ross makes the play.
But it's going to come around.
And for the second straight inning, the Royals come up with 2, and they make it a 1-run game. Kid, he has an RBI tonight in a 1-run game. Come on out to Kauffman Stadium on Saturday, May 19th. You'll get an exclusive 2012 All-Star Garden Gnome presented by Pepsi. That's to the first 10,000 fans. Royals and the Diamondbacks at 6:15. The gates will open at 4:30. Ball one to Kelly Shopik from Jonathan Sanchez. Shopik lost a hit on a diving play at third by Moustakas in the second inning.
Sanchez, he's got to go right after these guys here. And that's what Brian Pena's saying. Come on now, let's go. It's 2 balls. Find the mid here. Pick me up. Keep your tempo up. Come on, we got a chance to win this game. They're letting us back in it.
I mean, if anything right now, you just want him to work fast and get that defense back in the dugout. I mean,
Throwing a lot of balls is one thing. I mean, he's thrown 72 pitches, 38 balls, 34 strikes. Okay, that puts the defense to sleep.
High in the air and deep to left. Alex to the chain link fence, jumping, and he didn't get it. It stays in. And Kelly Shopik will end up at third base with nobody out.
Any other night with that wind not blowing from the left field foul pole to the right, that'd have been a homer. But Ned Yost, he's not going to let him stay in anymore. That ball there, 2-0. Hitter knows it's coming. Gordon did all he could with his wind and hit off his wrist. See this Super Exmo show where he just overjumped a little bit and hit him right on the palm. Good try.
So Sanchez is out after 3 innings and 1 batter. So Chevy called to the bullpen, and like yesterday, the first reliever will be asked to have a start. Very early in the game, Luis Mendoza had to come on in the third and made the equivalent of a start. And now Nate Adcock, in his mind now, has to pretend like this is a start, even though he's coming out of the bullpen as he takes over in the fourth.
He's got a nice ERA. He did it before in Minnesota. He can do it again. Good sinking fastball. He's got a little bit of life. He's got a four-seam fastball he'll use. He reaches 94 miles an hour. He's got some pop on his ball. Slider.
Strike two, Mike Aviles. Royals have the infield in halfway with Shopik at third and nobody out. And Aviles grounds it to Escobar, who plays a tricky hop. Aviles is out. Shopik holds at third.
Okay, sinker down. Escobar, he came and got it. Instead of waiting back for the big hop, he went and picked the short hop. Shoppage, it's his first triple in his career. So he's not going to try to come home on a ball like that.
Inside to Pedroia. He walked and scored in the Red Sox 4-run first. Gonzalez singled in a run. Middlebrooks hit a 3-run home run. And then Pedroia flied out in the second. No swing. And it is 2-0.
Well, the way starting pitching has been going so far early, Ned Yost, he knew he needed some long guys. So Mendoza Adcock, those are his long men, and Mendoza won't be able to pitch for another day or so, but Adcock, he's well rested.
Got to get a runner in at least as Dyson is back, and Pedroia hits an opposite field home run. So that puts the Red Sox back out in front by 3. There's the pop you were talking about earlier in the game from Dustin Pedroia and his 4th home run of the year.
Ball's definitely carrying to the opposite field, right center. So the middle, Pedroia had an inside-out swing. He wasn't trying to pull that. Anything up with any authority is going to leave out that way tonight.
David Ortiz has one of the 3 Boston home runs tonight. That was leading off last inning. He also singled and scored in the first. So 6 runs charged to Sanchez in 3 innings plus 1 batter. That's one day after Luke Hochevar was tagged for 7 runs in 2 1/3 innings against the Yankees. Let's go back to our Sprint You Call It question. We asked you the most dominant DH of his era. 44% going with Al McRae, followed by Edgar Martinez, and only 17% for the guy who is the all-time leader for home runs and RBIs as a DH.
Well, Mac was an unbelievable player and a DH, but before he DH'd, he could play and run, break up double plays.
Now, if you can't make a catch with a glove that size, I don't think you're ever going to make a catch.
Now, the wind has had an effect on everyone tonight, including that guy, but he gets the ball.
He drops the ball with a huge glove and still gets it. Still got the souvenir. What a country.
That's really good. Well, when you're hot, like David Ortiz, you can find a hole. Now, that guy, he's happy with his ball, but there's smiles all over the place. Nice and easy. Hit it where it was pitched. Adcock, he has a good changeup, too. He's been using that pitch. It fades away from the lefty. But he's been elevating a little.
Going 3 for 3. He's gone from 365 to 383. And we're 1 month into the season.
So he's probably sharing that with Hosmer.
One and one on Cody Ross, who has walked and struck out. Two and one. Well, as we were getting ready for this series, we're reminding you that the Boston Red Sox have the 3rd best batting average in the league. The Royals have the 4th best, and both teams are down around the bottom in team ERA. So this had all the makings, at least on paper, of being a shootout, and here we are 7-4 with 1 out in the top of the 4th. 11 runs on 11 hits combined. Sanchez has given up 6 of the 7. Still 2-2. So there you go. 13th in ERA for the Red Sox. The Royals are 1 step ahead of them, but a huge disparity in ERA. The Red Sox much higher than the Royals, and then 3rd in the league in hitting for Boston, 4th for the Royals. Boston second in the league in runs scored. That was before tonight, trailing only the Rangers. Popped up.
Tester.
And Moustakas runs Pena off the play, 2 down. Fans, here's your chance to bring your dog to a Royals game thanks to Bear K9 Advantix. Bark at the Park coming up on Sunday, May 20th. And for just $25, you can get a ticket for both you and your dog, a K9 bag dispenser, and a donation is made to Wayside Waifs. Go to royals.com/bark to register. And Rex, you can just bring your phone that day if you want to.
Well, if you don't like
Can
my
I tell
bark,
the story?
Sure.
We had a meeting with Dayton Moore. Dayton's always kind enough to meet with us about once a month. All the announcers go in there and just kind of see what's going on, answer some questions. And Rex's phone starts, I would say it started ringing, but it started barking for about a minute.
Well, I couldn't get it shut off. I was a little bit embarrassed. But, you know, hadn't taken the dog for a walk. He was letting me know. You know, my nickname is the Wonder Dog, you know. I'm a dog and they wonder.
Is that where the nickname came from?
I'm sure that I heard a lot of less flattering names in my career.
1-2 on Gonzalez. Two and two. Come to think of it, it kind of was like the neighbor who can't get his dog to stop barking in the middle of the night. You know, everything he was trying to do, and the dog just keeps barking. You were pressing every button you could find on that phone.
I hope Dayton didn't get mad at me.
Count goes from 0-2 to 3-2 on Gonzalez, and in the first inning he was down 1-2 to Sanchez with 2 on, 2 out. Sanchez 1 strike from getting out of the inning. Gonzalez took the count to 3-2 and singled on a good pitch. Pitch that was up and in, broke Gonzalez's bat for a run, and that allowed Middlebrooks to come up, and then he hit a 3-run home run. Ortiz takes off and Gonzalez strikes out. Red Sox have scored now in 3 of 4 innings. Dustin Pedroia hits a 2-run home run to make it 7-4 Red Sox. On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealer. By Panera Bread, 23 KC Metro locations and now open in Brookside. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. and by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Royals down by 3. They have been down by 4 and have scored 2 runs in each of their last 2 innings. Red Sox 4 in the first, Royals 2 in the second. Red Sox got 1 back in the third. The Royals scored 2 more in the bottom of the third, and now Boston just scored 2 in the top of the fourth. Third ball for a strike to Mike Moustakas, who doubled to center field and scored in the second inning. Oh, 0-2.
Red Sox pitching coach Bob McClure said he'll change speeds on his curveball, so he's got a couple different speeds to it. That's what he's going to try to do to Moose.
Still 0-2. There's Bob McClure, the former Royal and former Royals pitching coach and former teammate of Rex Udler in a couple of locations.
That's right. I was privileged enough to have him on my team with the Cardinals and the Expos, and he taught me a lot. Being a position player and a hitter, that's a little brushback pitch there. 0-2. Another one.
That one was a curveball.
You know, you learn a lot by talking, if you're a position player, to a pitcher on how you're going to get me out. Sometimes hitters and hitters talk and pitchers talk.
Very shallow center field and run down by Aviles.
But you learn a lot more when a hitter talks to a pitcher and they talk about how he's going to throw you, how I throw to you. You're on the same team. You know, it could happen someday, but, you know, really, you're just trying to help each other out. He's an old school guy, you know, a lot of knowledge, a lot of stories to tell, share. He's a baseball guy.
19 major league seasons as a pitcher, and he pitched in every role. He was a starter, he was a long reliever, he was a closer for the 1982 Brewers, who made it to the World Series when Raleigh Fingers was injured. And talking about Felix Doubront really needing to give the Red Sox a long outing tonight. Bob McClure once pitched an 11-inning complete game.
Wow. And he had one of the greatest pickoff moves a left-hander has ever had in this game. Can't teach that. Guys used to get 1 foot off the base and he'd pick them off. That's how good his move was.
Two and two on Brian Pena. He drove in a run with a ground out in the second inning. Royals doing some good situational hitting so far tonight. They scored 4 runs, and they've done so without a base hit to get a run home. They do have 3 hits, but their 4 runs have come on a ground out, a sac fly, an error, and another ground out. Off of Doubront, who throws out Pena, 2 down.
He hit off the heel of his glove hand. He put up his hand and told the training staff, "Don't come out. I'm all right." Hasn't been all smiles for that guy this year. Bobby Valentine's had a pretty interesting start to his Red Sox career.
Made headlines in New England and really throughout baseball when he questioned Kevin Youkilis, and that was the very first weekend of the series. Questioned whether he was still physically and mentally in the game, or emotionally in the game. That didn't go over very well in the clubhouse. Bobby Valentine has managed for the Texas Rangers. He managed the New York Mets to the World Series. And he has been to Japan a couple of times as a manager, and most recently was a television analyst before taking the job in Boston. 2-2 on Chris Getz. He had a sac fly in the second inning.
Bobby's managed 4th among active major league skippers in games, 2,216.
It's pretty good considering he hasn't managed in the big leagues since 2002.
Yes, that's a lot.
That will be out of play, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. McDonald to the line in left field, across the line. And that's the first 1-2-3 inning for Dubron. At the end of 4, Boston leads 7-4. And our AT&T trivia question for tonight: who holds the highest all-time average by a Royal in his second season following his rookie year? The all-time average by a Royal in his second season following his rookie year.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah. Well, what would the second season be? Is there another season other than the year after your rookie year? That's normally the second season, isn't it?
Sophomore year.
Yeah.
I'm going Mike.
Can't think of anybody that had a rookie year and then their next year was their 4th year, right?
No, I'm going Mike Sweeney.
Okay.
Just a guess.
Well, we were looking at Mike Moustakas, who is in his second season after his rookie year, right? And he's hitting .305, or he was hitting .305. So he could be the answer to that trivia question somewhere down the road. Three balls and 2 strikes on Will Middlebrooks, who has 2 home runs in his last 2 days, which are his first 2 major league home runs, a grand slam, and a 3-run home run. 3-run home run in the first inning tonight off of Jonathan Sanchez. He has also struck out twice as he goes down against Nate Adcock and one away in the 5th.
And he opened up the floodgates for a couple runs with an error he made, but he's a young guy. Got a good sinker. Foxtrack showing you he was all over the place besides in the middle. That's what you want to do. Get him to swing and miss.
Off of Escobar and into center field. McDonald can run. That would have been a tough play for Alcides.
Yeah, he can. We talked about what a great running back he was. Had some top spin on it, and the ball popped up. By the time he would have gotten to his feet and thrown over, I don't know if he'd have got it.
And it is a base hit for Darnell McDonald, bringing us to Marlon Byrd, who is 0 for 2.
Guess who Darnell McDonald's favorite baseball player and football player are? Who are his favorite players from baseball and football?
I think I know the answer to this. Is it the same guy?
It's the same guy, and ooh, they got him.
Pitch out, and McDonald reading it, so he's going to try and work a rundown, and the Royals get him.
Well, he's a two-sport star.
One of them here in Kansas City.
He played here for a time. See, now he's watching all the way and he decides to stop. Lots of times guys will keep going anyway, but he decided to get into a rundown. And Adcock will take it. 2 outs.
I think the answer to that question would be Bo Jackson.
That's right.
Now 3-0 on Marlon Byrd. Red Sox have scored in 3 of their first 4 at-bats, with 4 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Three and 1. Grounded foul, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, the famous senior advisor, the general manager, Art Stewart. Always great to be around him. He is a wealth of knowledge and tells some of the greatest stories ever. And I was able to get in on some of those Bo Jackson stories that he talked about. They're really good.
Slice to right center, and Dyson will play it on a bounce. Doesn't take much to get Art Stewart going about a baseball story, but if you really want to get him going, like you said, just get him talking about Bo Jackson.
Man, he's got some really good stories. There's Art. And then after I heard, 20 minutes worth of stories, I had to tell him a few of my stories with Bo, because Bo came out and played for the Angels the 1 year with its artificial hip in '94. And I saw some incredible things from that guy with one hip. Kelly Shoppa just got his first triple. Way to go, Shop. First triple in his career.
When I think of Kelly Shoppick here at Kauffman Stadium, and Royals fans might remember this, Alex Gordon's rookie year, he had a tough first couple of months and then really turned it around from the middle of June to the end of the season. He was playing third base. There were 2 outs in the 9th of the last game of the season, and Kelly Shoppick hit a ground ball, bad hop, that broke Alex's nose. I mean, he was 1 out, 1 strike from the season being over. Kelly Shopik nailed him at third base, and now Adcock strikes him out to end the inning. 2 hits, no runs for the Red Sox in the 5th.
At Kauffman Stadium, you heard Ryan and Rex talking about former Royals pitching coach Bob McClure. He was hired by the Red Sox on December 23rd, but that was not the biggest thing that happened to him that week, because 7 days later, his wife Shirley gave birth to twin boys Teddy and Brock. A new dad was Mac for the first time in 25 years. I asked him about it, and he said scary, but kind of cool to experience it all over again. And so he's really enjoying things, enjoying the fact that he's got these 2 new boys. But I asked him how things are going with it, and he said, I don't really know yet if it's easier or harder than the past because I've been gone so much for baseball. He said, ask me again next winter. The sleepless nights right now might be more about the pitching staff, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Joel. And I believe that Shirley and the twin boys are here in Kansas City. And bless Shirley for traveling with 2 4-month-olds on an airplane.
Woo. Well, that would be 2 former Royals that have young twins, because Mike Aviles, his wife Jessie, had twins a couple of years ago.
That's right.
So 1 set of twins did not make it. That would be Mike's. The other set, yes.
Well, they didn't make it. Mean they didn't come to Kansas City.
They did not come to Kansas City because they're at an age where they're a little bit more difficult on the airplane, Mike was saying. So he told his wife, Jessie, you know what? Not worth the 3 days. But Ryan, you've been through that. I mean, you might as well have twins.
Right.
Right? Could be a little tough on the
2 years and 6 months. Yeah.
Could be a little tough on the airplane, right?
Yep. For us and the people around us.
Yes. Anyway, congratulations to Mac and Shirley and the 2 new boys, Teddy and Brock.
Gerard Dyson is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. I believe that when Bob McClure was first hired, it was to be a kind of a special assistant, a roving minor league pitching coach, pitching coordinator. And then after he had joined the Red Sox organization and they were looking for a new pitching coach, Kurt Young went from the A's to the Red Sox for 1 year and then back to Oakland. And Allard Baird, the former Royals general manager, is in the front office for the Red Sox and has been now for several years and has history with Bob McClure. And then we were all happy to see that he had been named the Red Sox new pitching coach.
Baseball's small fraternity.
One hop to Middlebrooks. 2 down. All right, let's answer our AT&T trivia question. Who holds the highest batting average for a Royal in his second year? You're going to go with Mike Sweeney?
That's right.
I have no idea. Joe Randa. Willie Wilson, 315 average in 1979.
Not
and
easy
then
to
3
do.
years after that, he won a batting title.
Wow. Not easy. Especially second year. That's why you hear sophomore jinx in baseball a lot, because it's a league got a chance to see you that first year. Second year, they make the adjustments on you.
Kevin Seitzer, he had over 200 hits in his rookie year and came back and hit over 300. I said Joe Randa because I thought maybe the hint with Mike Moustakas, even though he's in his second year hitting over 300, is that it was a third baseman.
Seitzer could rake. Man.
Three and one to Alex. His bat came apart into about 17 pieces in the third inning, but placed perfectly in between the mound and the third base line. And then Middlebrooks came over from third to field it, and he threw it to the tarp. Dyson scored on the play, and then Alex later came around to score. And at that point, it was a 5-4 game. And then Pedroia hit the 2-run home run in the top of the fourth to give the Red Sox a 3-run cushion. There's a solid base hit. 2 hits for Alex tonight after 6 hits in the Yankee series.
He's squaring the ball up now, seeing it much better out of whoever's throwing it. Just a period. Look at that. And short, quick swing. That was a pitcher's pitch, down and away. Stayed right with it, stuck it.
Ram trucks with a Foxmo look at Alex reaching out and extending through that ball.
And he's using the large part of the field, keeps him on the ball. His head's there.
Strike to Billy Butler. He walked in the first, flied out to right in the third.
You hear the term seeing the ball a lot for hitters. How's he seeing the ball? Well, when you're not hitting so well, you're not seeing the ball so well. When you're hitting, you're seeing the ball well. It's amazing how simple the game sounds, but how hard it is to actually do.
And that's one thing that you hear so often from a hitter that's in a hot streak. You know, why are you hitting so well? And I guess we expect to say, well, you know, I'm keeping my shoulder in, you know, my hands feel good. It always seems to come back, you know, I'm just seeing the ball well right now. Grounded to Aviles. They'll get the force at second base to end the inning. And now at the end of 5, it is 7-4 Boston. Adcock on the mound in the 6th, but he's been on since the 4th inning. The Royals are going to need another long outing out of the bullpen and hoping that they get a long outing from one guy.
That's right. Well, it presents another opportunity for a guy like Nate to just go ahead and keep him scoreless here. Hopefully his team comes back in the game, and Ned Yost says, wow, look, we need a starter. We might use him. That's what you do with opportunities. Take him and run with it.
Line to center field. Tyson got a good read and a good jump. Mike Aviles is 1 for 4.
Kind of like Irving Falou did yesterday, giving Escobar a day off, giving him a breather. First major league start after 949 games. No problem. Triple first AB, single is next, 2 for 4. Made all the plays, looked good. It's what you do with your opportunity.
Dustin Pedroia has hit an 8 straight after a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. His 4th of the year. Even with the win, which may have helped him a little bit, we got a pretty good example of his power, and power to the opposite field in this ballpark here. If you hit a home run to the opposite field, it's legit. There are no cheap home runs in this ballpark.
No, and he doesn't get cheated either. He takes a good rip. He's strong. Might come in a small package, but he's a very strong kid, and he's a competitor. He loves playing, competing against the world's greatest.
Adcock thought that was a strike. Here's that home run in the 4th.
Okay, that ball is down. You got to be able to lift that.
And that wasn't a wall scraper.
No, you have to have the ability to know what to do with that pitch to hit one like the opposite field. He's a baseball player. When you hear that term, Art Stewart will tell you he's a baseball player. That means that he's well-rounded, and he hustles, plays hard, scrappy, all the determination. I mean, all the terms that you use for a hard ball player is this kid here. He's not a kid.
Here's his 2nd hit, and it will roll deep. Alex keeps it off the warning track, but Pedroia has a 1-out double.
Just another Red Sox double. Takes his hands right to the ball. Wherever it's pitched, he hits it. If it's out, over. 4-seam fastball by Nate. Sponsored by Mazda. And look at how long his stride is. Good balance, though.
And now the Royals won't mess with David Ortiz. He's made his point tonight with 3 hits, a home run, and now he's hitting .383.
It's like Jeter. Jeter in last series having to face that guy every time up was a problem, and now it's Big Papi here for the Red Sox.
Ortiz was 4th in the league in hitting, and if nobody else is added to their average, Ortiz now would be 2nd to Derek Jeter. So he takes the walk. We tell you about Girls Night Out here at Kauffman Stadium Friday, June 1st, presented by your KC Chevy dealers. The first 10,000 ladies will receive a Royals sun hat. Gates open at 4:30 for pregame activities in the outfield experience, such as a fashion show by Macy's, dueling pianos, cooking demos, fragrance samples, and much more. And that night will benefit the American Heart Association. Two on, 1 out. Cody Ross, batting 4th for the Red Sox, takes ball 1. Fastball rides inside, 2-0.
Nate wants to tie up his hands before he can get extended. Ross is a guy that kind of looks out over the plate, likes to pull everything. So when you give a guy that's a pull hitter pitches that are in off the plate a couple inches, they look good to him, and maybe you can get a jam shot on a weak ground ball.
To Moustakas. He'll step on the bag, throw a strike over to Hosmer for a double play. Another big play for Moustakas with the glove tonight. Who already has a diving play on defense tonight, starts this 5-3 double play to put an end to the top of the 6th inning. He will bat third as the Royals come up in the bottom of the 6th, as Eric Hosmer knocks the mask off of Shopik's face. It's our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Brenda Walls from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Brenda wins $2,600. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Brenda wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Hosmer, Francoeur, Moustakas coming up. 0-2. Hosmer is 0-for-2, but he has driven in a run.
Okay, well, I was mentioning in his last at-bat that Kevin Seitzer has been working a little bit with his stance, a little bit with his hand placement, where he starts his swing, but, you know, he looks pretty much the same as he always does. But one of the things that makes him so valuable is Kevin Seitzer is that he also works the mental muscle. And before the game, he put Hosmer's numbers out on a piece of paper, and then he put another guy in the league's numbers out there, and he did put any names by it, and he said, okay, here's your numbers, and here's another guy's number, and who do you think the other guy is? And he said, I don't know. He said, Albert Pujols, your numbers are better than his, and both you guys won't end up this way. So let it ride.
Well, I said it yesterday. If Eric Hosmer had played this entire season in the batting cage, he would think he was having a pretty good year by the way he's hitting the ball. Because you hit in the batting cage, there's nobody out there fielding. You don't know where the defense is lined up. You just judge it based on solid contact, whether you're swinging at good pitches for the most part. Now, that's not to say he'd be hitting 500 without all the lineouts, but he'd be hitting a lot better than 185. Chris Guccione says that Francoeur went around, so Dubron went 5 innings without a strikeout, and now he has struck out his first 2 hitters in the 6th.
Well, he's doing what Bobby Valentine needed. He's eating up some innings. In the umpire's interpretation, did he offer it the pitch? And Guccione said he did. But you know, Moustakas, he has 3 more home runs than Albert. And he's got 10 more ribbies. Albert's been the greatest hitter for the last 10 years.
Left center and deep, but slicing, so it allows McDonald to catch up to it. And Dubron now is getting on a roll. 3 scoreless innings. To you by Steel. Find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. By AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. The Royals, Fox Sports Kansas City, and the State of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking now. Still 7-4. Now Felix Dubron has 3 straight scoreless innings. He has retired 12 out of 13. And Nate Adcock starting off the 7th inning in relief of Jonathan Sanchez in the 4th. He has given up 1 run in 3 innings. Sanchez gave up 6 in 3 innings and 1 batter. Bounced off the plate, and that ball got some topspin on it and rolls out into center field. Adrian Gonzalez is 2 for 4. Well, we remind you to bring your kids to Kauffman Stadium for the largest educational field trip in town. It's School Day at the K coming up on May 17th. Chief Meteorologist Mike Thompson and the Fox 4 weather team will be giving the kids some cool weather demonstrations starting at 10 a.m. Baltimore Orioles in town for a 1:10 game later on Thursday, May the 17th. You can get your tickets at royals.com/schoolday. Will Middlebrooks hit a 3-run home run in the 1st inning and then struck out in his next 2 at-bats. Regarded as the Red Sox #1 prospect, and Boston didn't figure to see him until the second half of the season, but then Kevin Youkilis went down with an injury, so they called him up, and he's filling in at 3rd.
He was a star shortstop in high school and a very good one. Strong arm. But because of his size, how big he is, how tall, he's 6'4", 6'5". They said, hey, look, we can make him a third baseman.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Most every player on the field was a star in high school, except a few of them.
Hit hard to center. Dyson back, and it sails over his head. Well, we were telling you earlier that Middlebrooks has good power to center field and to the opposite field. And now he has a double to center after a 3-run home run to right back in the first inning.
And Dyson on contact turned and ran. I watched him. He had a perfect jump on that ball. There was no chance. When you have long arms and you get them extended and you get a ball out over the plate and you have an inside-out swing, you're going to have some pop that way. But if he plays long with the Red Sox there at Fenway, he'll have to learn how to pull that and get it up over that big monster.
Ned Yost is out. Runners at second and third with nobody out. Kelvin Herrera has been warming up in the bullpen and continues to warm up. So if Ned makes a change, he might wait a while to give Herrera a few more warm-up tosses, and there's the call. So Adcock goes 3 innings plus 2 hitters. Chevy call to the bullpen. Here comes Kelvin Herrera. Kelvin Herrera takes over on the mound. We remind you, you can follow the Royals with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @Bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. Kelvin Herrera, 12 strikeouts, 2 walks in 13 in the third innings. Faced the Yankees for the first time. That was on Saturday night. Entered the game with a runner on second and 2 outs. And retired Derek Jeter to end the inning. This time he inherits runners at second and third and nobody out. Darnell McDonald at the plate. And that's chopped to Escobar, who will look the runners back and throw out McDonald. He is 1 for 3, and there is 1 out.
Hey, Herrera have a chance here to retire him. He's got strikeout capabilities. That above average fastball around 98 miles an hour, 99 at times, and his good changeup. And he's at the bottom of the order, even though nowadays in the American League doesn't mean a whole lot. All those hitters 7, 8, 9 can hit.
Marlon Byrd is 1 for 3 with a single. And he gets jammed. A slow roller to Moustakas. And there are 2 outs.
Boy, good footwork over there by Hosmer. He's able to read the throw. He's very athletic, so he just moves over to the foul ground and touches the base with his right foot. That fastball was hard and running in on Bird's hands.
And now Kelly Shopik, who hit his first major league triple in the 4th inning. This guy's been around for a while. Tripled and scored in the 4th inning off of Alex Gordon's wrist. And we were telling you about when he hit a ground ball off of Alex Gordon's nose at the end of the 2007 season.
Wow. That's a tough way to go to the offseason.
Line to Alex coming up. He dives and he's got it. So take that, Kelly Shopik. We're all even.
Picked the wrong guy.
Gordon, our Mazda replay, and the Gold Glover playing once again Gold Glove defense out in left field. Alex Gordon robbing Kelly Shopik. Joel Goldberg back here at Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals and Kelvin Herrera staying in it. Panera takes us around the league, and Cleveland continues to play good baseball. 8-6 the final there. In the second game, they're delayed right now in the 8th inning. Texas all over Baltimore. Perhaps the Orioles a little tired after that 17-inning affair yesterday. Los Angeles 5-1 over Minnesota. Alberto Callaspo with the home run, and Detroit and Seattle just underway as Doug Fister coming off of the disabled list against his former team. Ryan?
All right, thank you, Joel. Felix Dubron has really settled down after giving up 4 runs in the first 3 innings. Now, the trends will tell you that the deeper he gets into the game, the worse he becomes. But he is working against those trends tonight, as he was actually shaky early on and now trying to finish strong. He has not gone more than 6 innings this year. So his first out recorded will be a season high for innings pitched. 2-1 against Brian Pena. He'll be followed by Chris Getz and Alcides Escobar.
And I don't think it could have come at a better time for Bobby Valentine after everything that's been going on, the extra inning games they've been playing. And it's not like the Royals aren't a good hitting team. They're 4th in the American League in batting. with a 259 average coming in. So he's doing a good job of mixing up his pitches. He's got 2 different speeds to his curveball. Sinking fastball, 4-seam fastball, and a changeup to righties.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Dubron has walked 2, but none since the 2nd inning. Into center field for a base hit. Ryan Pena's 1 for 3. Remember, he came up in the 9th inning yesterday in a 10-4 game. Ned Yost gave him an at-bat, and he got a base hit to snap an 0 for 13.
He's been hitting the ball. Yesterday's game, he hit the ball right at the third baseman a couple hard times.
Strike on Chris Getz, a sac fly in the 2nd inning, and then he fouled out in the 4th. One and one. Popped up to the left side. And Middlebrooks in foul ground makes the play. So there is 1 out. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg at Kauffman Stadium with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton and Sam Abramson, and the rest of our Fox Sports Kansas City crew, all of which enjoying the weather tonight much more than they were yesterday, and especially on Saturday. 71 perfect degrees at first pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul off the right field line.
Hey, Fox Tracks will show you. He's right where he normally stays every start. He's been 90 in the high 90s, 100, 110's the most pitches he's had this year, but using mostly fastballs. And when you have 3 variations of that fastball, you can do that.
Two and two. So a season high was 6 1/3 innings, 100 pitches. Normally he's right around 5 innings when he gets to 100 pitches. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Escobar. Yesterday, Clay Buchholz started for the Red Sox and didn't get through 4 innings. So the 8 relievers after him in the 17-inning game. And then on Saturday, Aaron Cook didn't get through 3 innings. He had to leave with a laceration to his knee that put him on the disabled list. Grounded up the middle. Pedroia dives. He comes up short. The Royals have 2 on with 1 out.
Good stroke. Pedroia tried to get it. Pitchers love to see that kind of effort.
So Franklin Morales begins to throw in the bullpen. And a conference at the mound. Everybody on the infield joining Dubron and catcher Kelly Shopik.
I don't think you had to tell 23-year-old Dubron that he needed to go as deep as he possibly could before this game. He knew that, and he's done it.
And he was shaky early on. He gave up a walk in the first inning, a leadoff walk in the second. That led to a couple of runs. 2 more runs in the third, so he was skating on thin ice very early in the game, but the Royals were scoreless in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, and he had retired 12 out of 13 going into the 7th before the Royals have come up with 2 hits. Oh, and 1.
Two lefties coming up in Dyson and Gordon. McClure said, hey, come on now. I got a couple lefties coming up here. Let's finish the inning.
Slap to left field. Now the Royals have the bases loaded with 1 out, and the muscle coming up in the batting order.
Good swing by Dyson. Didn't try to do too much on that. Just put it in play. Royals just 2 for 11 with the bases loaded this year. Could use a big hit.
And Alex has 2 hits. He's up to 275. He was hitting right around 230 in the middle of the Yankees series. Broke his bat again. Alex was looking for a pitch up, something that he could drive to the outfield, if not over the wall.
The bat boys nowadays, to help speed the game up, they have the hitters extra bats that are sitting right there by the stairs. So when that happens, they can run them right out to them. They don't have to go through the bat rack and say, which one do you want? And so hitters nowadays put two or three bats up there every time that happens. But he wants something out over the plate.
.94 miles an hour, no balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, that's his 4-seamer up in the zone, and he got Gordon to swing at it twice. He'll sink his fastball and cut it. Might sweep a curve here on it.
One and 2. .107 pitches. Dubron's season high is 110. Royals would like to get a big hit before the Red Sox can bring a fresh arm into the game, if there is a fresh arm out there. And a breaking ball just stayed up. And I mean just with a capital J.
Well, Gordon definitely doesn't want to get called out without swinging. That ball was a hanger. If you told him that was coming, he might have turned on that one.
And a fastball below the knees. Boy, he's laid off some close pitches. So the count from 0-2 to 3-2. And now everybody stands up, encouraging Alex as the Royals looking for a big hit with the bases loaded and 1 out. Grounded foul.
Yep. Want to make sure that he swings anything close. Don't want to be eyeballing up there with the bases loaded.
Pena opened the inning with a single. With 1 out, Escobar single, then Dyson single. 3 hits in the inning, no runs yet, and another 3-2 to Alex. He walked him. So it's a 2-run game with the bases still loaded.
Okay, well, that definitely was out of the zone. Good job. Good take, good run. Big hit.
So Dubront was on a roll, but he hits a wall in the 7th inning. Pitching change for the Red Sox. Billy Butler coming up with the bases loaded. After being a little shaky in the first 3 innings, Felix Dubront was very strong in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. He had retired 12 out of 13, giving the Red Sox exactly what they needed tonight. But the Royals here in the 7th got a base hit from Brian Pena to center field. Then with 1 out, Alcides Escobar grounded a single just beyond the diving Dustin Pedroia. Gerard Dyson single to left field, and then Alex Gordon, with a long plate appearance, ends up with a bases loaded walk. So it's a 2-run game. The tying run is at second with great speed in Dyson. And now the spotlight is on Billy Butler.
Gapper would bring Gordon home as well. Adrian Gonzalez way off of him, so he can get a big lead. Billy Butler, a .298 career hitter with the bases full.
And in for a strike from Vicente Padilla in his first year with the Red Sox.
You saw that fastball had a little bit of life on it there at the end, coming in. Hard slider and a changeup. But Billy Butler has not hit a career grand slam. He's due.
Line foul. Ricocheting around like a pinball.
Padilla likes to challenge guys, and that's what he's doing right here in this situation. Coming right out, right after. as late a swing as Billy was on that, he might come back with it again.
Billy is 1 for 7 in the past against Padilla. Just missed down and away, so that tight strike zone is now benefiting the Royals.
3 straight fastballs. Outfield playing straight up. Same as the infielders.
And Billy chops it to Pedroia. Red Sox get the out at second base, and they turn a double play. Royals get 1 run to make it a 2-run game to the 8th inning. Uverse reverse replay.
He made a brilliant play here on it. This ball that Chopik hit one knee through a dart to first base. Was able to keep it in that glove. Threw him out with no problem with 4 steps, and then later he hits his 11th double over Marlon Byrd's head.
This is the 5th time through for the Red Sox, and Kelvin Herrera pitching to Mike Aviles, the former Royal, is 1 for 4 tonight. Singled in the second, also stole a base. Pedroia and Ortiz will follow. 1 ball, 1 strike. So some pretty good pitching to get out of messes in the 7th inning. The Red Sox had runners at second and third and nobody out, and Herrera came on and got 2 weakly hit ground balls and a line out to left. Alex Gord made a diving play to save a couple of runs, and then the Royals had a run home and the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, and Vicente Padilla was able to get Billy Butler to ground into a double play. Tim Cheetah says that Aviles went too far, and then Aviles waves off Cheetah as he heads back to the third base dugout. He's lucky he's still in the game.
Yep. Cheetah let him stay, but hard fastball in the corner. Said you did. He didn't ask for help. Foxmo is sponsored by Ram. I show you. He's got that grip for changeup. And Guccione agreed with him.
1-1 on Pedroia. He's had a full night, a walk and a run scored in the first inning, a 2-run home run in the fourth, and a double in the sixth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The home run in the fourth was a big hit for the Red Sox at the time. They had a 4-0 lead and a 5-2 lead. The Royals got 2 in the bottom of the third to make it a 1-run game, and then Pedroia went deep in the fourth against Nate Adcock. One of those runs was charged to Jonathan Sanchez, and then Red Sox failed to score in the next 3 innings against Nate Adcock. Three balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's tough to lay off of that. Pedroia did. That was that changeup. Starts out over, and the hitter don't have long to decide whether he's going to swing or not. And that ball just knifed right back down in his leg.
Red Sox fan just had the opportunity of a lifetime in the upper deck on the first base side. Watching his team on the road. He had his Red Sox jersey on. That thing came in hot, but that ball was hit right to him, and he let it get away. And now Herrera lets Pedroia get away with a 1-out walk. And here's Ned Yost again with Tim Collins warming up in the bullpen. And with 1 on, 1 out, and David Ortiz coming up. Another pitching change for the Royals. One out and following a walk, but he got the Royals out of a sticky situation in the 7th inning. 2nd and 3rd and nobody out, and the Red Sox couldn't score against him. And now Tim Collins, who grew up in Massachusetts, a huge Red Sox fan, and he'll be pitching to David Ortiz with a runner at first and 1 out. And the next time the Royals get David Ortiz out will be the first time.
Well, Collins has the weapons to do that. Good fastball, mid-90s, big curve. Change-ups to righties.
A little bit high for ball 1. Collins faced the Red Sox last year, but did not see David Ortiz. Against Jonathan Sanchez, Ortiz singled and homered, and against Nate Adcock, singled and was intentionally walked. Pedroia takes off, and he's into second base without a throw.
That took the bat out of Big Poppy's hands.
A little difference in size there, Collins and Ortiz. So he'll be walked intentionally for the second time tonight.
Big Poppy was hitting .400 against left-handed pitches with 3 homers coming in. So, you know, they said, first base open, let's see if we can get a double play.
Cody Ross is hitless in 4 plate appearances. He did walk in the 3rd inning. And he'll be facing Collins for the first time. So Pedroia at second, Ortiz at first. Fastball in for a strike. We were telling you earlier about Cody Ross, and in 2010 with the Giants, he was the NLCS MVP when the Giants beat the Phillies. And in order to get that, you have to get some big hits. And he had 2 home runs off of Roy Halladay in game 1 of that series to set the tone. And then he hit a home run off of Roy Oswalt in game 2. And that is drilled to center field. Dyson stays in, and now it rolls away from Dyson. And that will allow 2 runners to score. So Ross, it isn't the National League Championship Series, but it's a big hit late in the game. And the Red Sox are back out to another 4-run lead.
He was waiting for that one right down the middle, and he got it. Short, quick swing. Let Collins provide the power, and Dyson had it in his glove, and it just fell out.
And then ran away from him.
Yep. And then Big Poppy, he was coming hard.
So 22 RBIs for Ross this year. 2 walks in the inning, one of them intentional, and they both come around to score. One and one to Adrian Gonzalez. 2 singles, and he drove in a run back in the 1st inning. Pulled to Hosmer, and a little backhand flip over to Collins for the out as Ross goes to 3rd base.
Red Sox came into this game, you know, they knew they could hit, but they lead the majors with 108 extra base hits. So the offense has not been a problem for Bobby Valentine. A little shuffle pass by Hosmer there, making sure he has the grip.
Ball 1-2. Will Middlebrooks, who has a double and a 3-run home run.
First pitch he saw off of Sanchez tonight. Went with it. Wind was blowing at that particular time. Now the flags are.
This one's into the left field corner, and it hits the foul pole for another home run. 5 RBIs for Will Middlebrooks. And the Red Sox lead 11-5.
Wow, this kid, he's gone line to line tonight with homers. Pulls his hands in on a quick fastball. Wasn't sure if it's going to stay, but was able to keep his hands in enough to where the top hand didn't hook it. The pole. First pitch he sees tonight was very similar, except it was the other way.
You know, there's a lot of field to use here, and he's using the tightest angles possible.
You know, and his biggest power might be straight away.
1-1 to Darnell McDonald. Big thrill yesterday to get his first major league home run, and it was a grand slam against the Orioles, against Tommy Hunter, with friends and family watching. And now 2 more home runs the very next night and 5 RBIs. McDonald strikes out. The Red Sox, right after the Royals got a run in the 7th, they get 4 in the 8th.
Hosmer steps in after the game on Boulevard Royals Live. Jeff Montgomery and I will be breaking down the second straight game where a Royals starter struggles to get it done. We'll talk about Alex Gordon, who continues to pile up the hits, and want to let everybody know we're going to be answering Twitter questions tomorrow on the pregame show and throughout the game as well. You can send that in to FS Kansas City. Send them into Twitter, FS Kansas City, and we will answer those tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And Ryan, I should point out a few very observant Twitter followers mentioned to me that there were some other twins recently born to a Royal too. You remember who that was? We talked about Bob McClure and his new twins, Mike Aviles. How about a former catcher?
I'm stumped.
No, you're not.
Give me another hint. What's his last name?
It rhymes with luck.
John Buck.
Yeah.
That's right.
There you go.
John Buck, the twin boys. That was about, what do you think, about 4 years ago now?
Mm-hmm. And if you go back longer than that, Johnny Damon had twins, I believe, during the 1999 season when he was with the Royals. Eric Hosmer is 0 for 4 with a ground out to second base.
And Hosmer just continues to hit the ball, but right at people. This guy, I don't know if I've seen anything like this in a long time. I mean, he's squaring it up, just not getting under it or able to get it by somebody.
Ball 1 to Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur walked and scored in the second inning, and he has flied out and he has struck out. So Vicente Padilla pitching out of the bullpen for the Red Sox, and early in the at bat to Hosmer, I don't know if you noticed, he threw a curveball miles an hour. When was the last time you think Eric Hosmer saw a 56-mile-an-hour pitch?
Padilla's done that before. Probably in BP. Although coaches pitch with it up closer to home plate, and they throw probably 60, 70 maybe. But he's a veteran guy and somebody who is able to toy with hitters like that.
Off the knuckles. And it will drop between three Red Sox. Ross in right, Bird in center, Pedroia going out from second base. And Francoeur has his first hit tonight.
Okay, let's take a look at that slow pitch again. 51 miles an hour. Look at that. Right down the middle. Hosmer took a step back and said, did I just see that?
That will remind some Royals fans of a pitch that Zach Greinke used to throw every now and then. And some of those same Royals fans might recall a game in Philadelphia when Zach Greinke threw a big slow curveball to Jim Thome for a strike. And then in Thome's next at bat, he tried to go with the same pitch, and Thome almost hit it out of Pennsylvania. Two balls and no strikes. Steve Kurtenbach, our director, remembering that Jim Thome almost killed a vendor who was selling Philly cheesesteaks in the upper deck with that Jim Thome home run. Oh. That was the last time Zach ever threw that pitch twice to the same hitter in the same game, I think.
Hosmer will put that in the back of his mind. He'll remember that.
Vicente Padilla, good arm, but boy, does he have quite a history on the disabled list. Broken bat, and he should have let it roll foul, or at least try and see if that ball would continue to spin foul, but he picked it up, looked at first, and there was no play. Moustakas will take it, and he has two hits.
Full swing, and you're right, that ball, it was moving pretty good, going foul to the foul line. Middlebrook was yelling at him, but he didn't hear him.
That ball's going to roll foul.
Because there's nothing you can do with that.
Royals down by 4. Brian Pena started the 7th inning with a base hit, came around to score, and there's the big slow curve from Padilla, 54 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. By my count, Vicente Padilla has been on the disabled list 10 times in his career. Going back to 2001, a right ankle injury. 04, right elbow. 05, right triceps. 07, right triceps. 08, neck. 09, right shoulder. Tested positive for the swine flu in 09. Shot himself in the leg during the 09 offseason during target practice. 2010, right forearm. 2010, neck. Right hand surgery to begin last year and started on the DL, and then had neck surgery last year.
Seriously.
Wow. But he's still standing. To Pedroia, who bobbled out at second base, and the Red Sox still turn the double play, and that's their second in the last 2 innings. Wow. Double play in the 8th. Tomorrow, game 2, Danny Duffy against Daniel Bard, who is moving from the bullpen to the rotation for the Red Sox this year. Danny Duffy is coming off a win against the Yankees. That was in game 1 on Thursday. So Duffy and Bard tomorrow night at 7:10 with Hy-Vee Royals Live beginning at 6:30 with Joel and Monty. Aaron Crow becomes the 5th Royals pitcher tonight. He'll take over in the 9th inning with Marlon Byrd, Kelly Shopik, and Mike Aviles to the plate. Red Sox scored 6 in 3 innings against Jonathan Sanchez. They scored 1 run in 3 innings against Nate Adcock. They got a run off of Kelvin Herrera in an inning and a third, and then 3 against Tim Collins in 2/3 of an inning. You know, the Red Sox have had trouble at home just like the Royals have, and remember we felt like when the Royals began the last road trip that as much as they like playing at home, maybe there was just a little too much pressure trying to please the home crowd, and as it turned out the Royals had a winning road trip. Well, maybe the Red Sox are in the same boat, just getting away from Fenway Park at least for a while. They'll play here and then they'll go right back to Boston.
All right, 3 games. They're 4-10 at Fenway.
Coming off a 1-5 homestand. They won the first game against Oakland, lost the next 2, and then were swept by the Baltimore Orioles in that 17-inning game yesterday. 6 hours and 7 minutes. Marlon Byrd has his second hit.
Minnesota's 3-8 at home. Soon to be 3-9. The Angels are up 6-3 in the 9th. Alford got a hit and 2 RBIs.
So maybe taking a seat on Saturday was the best thing for him. Coming back with a home run yesterday, a couple of RBIs tonight. Shopik pulls it to third. Moustakas throwing on the run. He is making every play. Hosmer trying to get Byrd rounding second base. Shopik is 1 for 5, and it required a much more difficult play for Moustakas when he took a hit away from Shopik back in the second.
Right, and Moustakas is so good with that glove. Maybe one of the reasons is he flies with it. He has it on the airplane with him.
Really?
Yes. Coming back from the last road trip, I made my way on back to the airplane, and I saw him, and he was conditioning it. His glove was saddle soap, which your gloves needed after a little bit of time. He takes care of it. That glove makes his living. His glove is important to him as a hammer is to a carpenter.
One and one to Aviles. Who was the hitter that used to sleep with his bats?
It's Donnie Mattingly.
Yep. One and two on Mike Aviles, who is 1 for 5 tonight. Last time up, struck out. Didn't think that he went around, and Tim Cheetah rang him up at home plate, and Aviles gesturing toward Tim Cheetah as he was heading to the third base dugout. And I don't think that Tim Cheetah saw it, because if he did, I don't think Aviles would be batting right now. That'll be in the lower seats. Look out.
There's some happy fans. Of course, some of them are wearing Red Sox jerseys.
Still 1 and 2. Mike Aviles was the 7th round draft pick of the Royals back in 2003. A $1,000 signing bonus.
Wow. And look at him now.
In 2007, he was the Royals minor league player of the year. But the Royals left him off the 40-man roster that offseason, so any of the other 29 teams could have claimed him, and they didn't. But then he was called up early in the 2008 season and ended up being the Royals player of the year. Good year at shortstop. And one of the great memories of Mike Aviles' career with the Royals was shortly after being called up. The Royals went to New York, where Mike is from, and in front of his mom and family and friends, got his first big league hit at Old Yankee Stadium.
Cool.
He went around, and you know Tim Cheetah was going to call that. 2 down.
Crow finally got him. Good slider. Yeah, his front foot is way up in front of that box.
Another good night for Pedroia. He was already a .387 career hitter against the Royals before the game, and that's the highest average of any current player. And now he has 2 walks, a double, a home run, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Dustin Pedroia hit his first major league home run against the Royals back in 2006 against Luke Hudson at Fenway Park. .3-0.
Pedroia really gears up, and that ball gets to the release point of the pitcher. He's gearing up. That's where he gets a lot of his pop. He gets some momentum going forward.
So he will walk for the 3rd time, and that means David Ortiz, who is perfect tonight, will come up with 2 on and 2 out.
Okay, Big Poppy, he didn't mess around. Base hit right up the middle. Nice and easy hand swing. Now he got a little extension on that one where he hit a big fly home run. That was his 7th. And then he dumped one in there. He's all over the ball.
Slider is inside for ball 1. Nick Punto is going to run for Pedroia at first base. One ball, one strike.
Big Poppy, they call him. He's listed at 6'4", 230. But he looks like he could be 225, maybe 220. Leaned up some.
Two balls, one strike. Two and two. I remember in 2001, David Ortiz was with the Minnesota Twins, and in the second inning, he was sliding it at home, and he broke his right wrist. He stayed in the game. His wrist was sore, but he finished the game, and in the 5th inning, he hit a big home run against the Royals. So the Twins decided to check it out after the game, and he had broken his wrist. A broken wrist home run, and he breaks his wrist here going too far, and he strikes out. Wow. Royals down by 4 to the bottom of the 9th. Four plus 2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mike Moustakas has been a bright spot for the Royals in a disappointing game, at least so far, and that's both at the plate and in the field, as he has 2 more hits, another double to give him 11. He's made one of the defensive plays of the game. You talk about a hitter who gets a big hit and that confidence will carry him for a while. Wonder how much that defensive play for him on Thursday against Alex Rodriguez for the final out of the game. Does the same thing apply on defense like it does at the plate?
For sure it does, believe me, and he takes pride in his defense. In spring training, I saw him in the batter's cage with his small glove. He has a real tiny glove that he uses to help his focus, and turn the machine on. He's the hitting machine, the pitching machine's throwing balls to him. He's catching them instead of hitting them. So he really takes pride in his defense, and he loves it here at home when the crowd chants his name Moose. So let's take a look at him again. This was early on in the game. From one knee, one hopper, He's got it. Super slow motion play. Here's a little double play he makes. And then coming in on Shopik, he's robbed Shopik twice now. Gordon's robbed him once. Shopik, he's having a rough night hitting to the wrong guys. But the defense has been stellar.
And that's big for him because that has always been the knock on Mike Moustakas. And not that he's been a bad defensive player. He's just been so good at the plate that scouts believe that the two didn't match up. The so-called he's a better hitter than he is a fielder, but Eddie Rodriguez in particular, the Royals third base coach and infield coach, talks about the drive that Moustakas has to improve on defense, the ambition.
Well, he's already made so many highlight plays, and it's so early in the season that he's got enough for a season already. He's really put it together out there. But he's aggressive, he's young. He gains confidence with those plays that he can make everything hit to him. That's what you want.
Escobar is down on strikes, 2 away in the 9th inning. And we have to remember that is not a position that Moustakas has been playing for a long time. He was the Royals' first-round pick in 2007. He was a high school shortstop. The Royals left him at shortstop at the end of that year in pro ball. And for the first half of the 2008 season, he was still playing shortstop. It wasn't until late in 08, as Padilla goes with his 54-mile-an-hour curveball, it wasn't until late in the 2008 season that Moustakas became a full-time third baseman. One and one on Dyson, who has 2 hits tonight.
It's fun to watch. The corners are really good. Escobar gets up the middle. They've got a nice defense. Dyson's got the speed out there. They've got arms. They've got Frenchie and Gordon. Padilla might be conserving on his arm a little bit.
Two and two on Dyson.
Ned Yost, he's thrilled with the defense. He's going to try to find a few good starters out there that can get some guys out and go 6-7 innings. And hopefully tomorrow Danny Duffy will.
Danny coming off a win and a strong start against the Yankees on Thursday. A 3-hit game for Dyson. He was hitting .311 going into that plate appearance. 3 out of 5 tonight.
Just using his hands. Wasn't a body swing on that one at all. He's a glider. He's happy, gives himself a little clap.
And now Gerard will take second base. The Red Sox pay no attention. Did you hear that? Normally when a base stealer gets a stolen base, Mike Swanson, Royals Vice President of Communications, will say that's Dyson's 4th stolen base of the year, giving us an update. But that was defensive indifference, to which Swanee said that's the 3rd time Dyson has taken second base on defensive indifference.
Well, he's keeping us informed.
One and 2 to Alex. 2 more hits tonight. A run scored. An RBI with a bases loaded walk. That gets him up to 275. to left field. And McDonald makes the catch, and that puts an end to the Red Sox 5-game losing streak. So Padilla finishes the game, coming on with 1 out in the 7th inning. And the Red Sox take game 1 over the Royals 11-5. We'll be right back.